Hello again, boys and girls. Well, today, this is lesson 4. Welcome again to Vacation Bible School here at St. Peter AME Zion Church in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Okay, class, today, guess what? We're going to be talking about leadership. See, leadership. Okay, have you ever wanted to be a leader and they were picking someone else instead of you? And how did you respond to that? What was your feeling about that? You wanted to be the leader. You felt like you needed to be the leader. Okay, but you end up having to be the follower. Let's look at this train. Something I learned about leadership. Okay, how did you act when they didn't pick you to be the leader? Did you get an attitude? Did you get mad? Did you participate at all? Because sometimes, guys, we might not be the leader, but we can be a great follower. I learned something about a train. Where if that train, wherever that train goes, these different compartments follow. Okay? And if you have a great leader, and if you are connected, because if you notice, these are connected to all the way to the head. If you have a good leader, well, guess what? You're going to be successful. If that leader is going in the right direction, and you are following them as they follow Christ, then you are going to be successful. That's the good thing about that. I've learned something, it just sometimes being a good follower can make you a great leader. So even if you're not always the leader, learn how to be a follower, okay? Now, and that just brings me to our lesson today. And the scripture comes from Judges, the 4th chapter, verses 4 through 16. Now we have another great woman, okay, who did a great work. All right, in today's lesson, we have a lady by the name of Deborah. Okay, Deborah had 2 positions. She was a prophetess and she was a judge. And during that time, she was the only female judge in her time, okay? All right, she judged at a time when the Israelites were really suffering bad from their enemies, and they needed victory, okay? And under the inspiration of God, she presented this man named Barak. She went to Barak, and she told Barak what God had instructed her to tell him. Okay? All right? Now, Barak believed in Deborah, because she would always make wise decisions. She helped a lot of people. Okay? Barak believed in her so much that he said, listen, I'll do this, but I will go, but only if you go with me. Okay, that's the kind of faith he had in her leadership. Okay, and it's good that someone can trust you like that enough so in leadership position. Okay, so as a result, the bottom line is Barak went as God had instructed him, and they were victorious over their enemies, all because of Deborah's leadership. Now, mind you, Deborah's leadership, she was following God's instructions, okay? After that, the Israelites celebrated their victory and enjoyed 40 years of peace. Isn't that something? All because of the leadership, the great leadership. Because you either have bad leaders or you have good leaders, and you have to be mindful of who you are following. Whether it even be some of your peers, if they're not going in the right direction, you should not be following them. Okay? All right? And especially, if they're listening, if someone is listening to God, then you need to be mindful and go ahead and follow that person who's listening to God. Because a great leader, you know what they do? They pray for everything. They pray about everything. Okay? And a great leader, they wait for the directions from God. Okay? A good leader is concerned about people and their well-being. Make sure you follow good leadership, even if it is your peers. God always places good examples before us to follow, and I believe that. Okay? All right, so now let's look at story time. This story is about a good leader needs. A good leader needs. Okay? So we got in this story a boy named Vance and his father. Okay, they went to this church. Okay, and during that time, the junior leader was not, the leader over that junior class, they were not really doing anything with that class. So Vance's father asked him, well, Vance, why don't you consider taking that position as leader? Well, Vance wasn't really interested in the position. He told his dad that it was boring. Dad, is boring. No one looked at young people serious anyway. So he didn't want to do anything with that position. His dad wanted to know why he felt that way. Vance explained that the group, they don't meet regular, first of all, and he also heard the kids talking about the leader. Okay, he said that leader don't even show interest. Vance said when he would go to the group meeting, the kids would be texting and playing video games on their phones. So that's why Vance just really didn't have any interest or anything. But apparently Vance's father could see the leader in him. Sometimes, your teachers or your pastors, they can see something in you, and they might come to you and say, well, look, I want you to do this. I want you to be on the usher board. I want you to do these things. And that's because they have an eye and they can see the leader in you. Okay? But however, like most of us, we sometimes don't feel that we're capable. We don't sometimes really feel that we can do the job, but it's good to have great leadership. It's good to have great leaders that can see things in you. Okay? All right. Well, Vance's daddy kind of said, okay, well, why don't you just consider that position anyway? Okay, so Vance went to the next meeting they had, and at that time, the leader was saying, well, look, I want you guys to write down some great ideas that we can do to help our church out. Okay, and at that time, Vance started to write some ideas, and I think, for real, Vance started getting excited when he was writing. He had some thoughts about how they can make the church better, how they could help in the church. So he wrote his ideas, and he got excited. He may not have wanted to admit it, but then he went home and he told his dad, the ideas that he had come up with, and he had a little enthusiasm with it, and he said, I think I will consider the position. Okay, so there again, a lot of times when that is in you, when that leadership is in you, sometimes you can find out by just, when you start exercising the gifts that's in you. So here again, Vance took the advice of his dad, and because he took the advice of his dad, he was able to move in the gifts that God had given Vance, which was a great leader. Okay? All right, now here's the exercise for you guys. This is what I want you to do. When you go home, I want you to get a notebook, and I want you to interview some of the leaders in your church. Okay? Ask them questions. Ask them questions like, what makes a good leader? Ask them, how does one learn about being a good leader? And then I want you to share your experience. Again, guys, thank you so much for coming out. And until the next time, God bless you.